All right, guys, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We get a lot of requests, overwhelming amount of requests. So thank you for all the feedback on that. Thank you to all my viewers and subscribers. I'm really grateful. Thank you for having me as a guest today. We're going to just carry on with our tradition. What do I think is going to happen? And why do I have certain things set up the way I do? Today, I also wanted to talk to you about. I just added this extra trend line from our breakaway point, and it's possible we could eventually make it up here in this next period. I mean, 55 and 57 is a point that could be hit, but I think that we're repeating our sequences that have repeated, and we've seen this happen 3 times, 155 days, and we're going to just quickly talk about that and have a look at our 155 days up to this point here and what typically happens after 100 or after 155 days. Well, we get a lot of volatility. So looking back on that right now, up to our old top is about 155 days and 100% in price, and it doesn't come back and make a bottom, for quite a while, and that's 62 days to that. So we were looking at doing a comparison on those as well, and here's our 62 days right here, and we've seen that repeat over and over again, and it's just something we have to be aware of, and this right here represents the last one, right? And then we have that great big breakaway where I was warning you in my previous tutorials way back in October and September to buy Bitcoin here, and that's exactly what I did on the October 15th at 27,200. So it was. I'm still in that trade, and I'm waiting for it to show weakness. And if it breaks back below this area here, I may consider exiting if it starts to show substantial weakness. However, we're watching it. This channel right here is really important. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this. So I put this tool on here. And why did I put it on here at these points? And why did I put this here? All right, well, it's very possible and likely by this point we will be at our old top, and it's just looking like that's very likely. And we're going to talk about that. So, why would I put the tool on here at the 15th, right, of February? Because I'm waiting 62 days. All right, so 62 days is April 17th. Okay, so that's interesting. We haven't had a further retest where we could say we'd do another 152 days, or sorry, 62 days. So let's just take a look from here, and let's just look out 155 days and see what goes on there. Well, that's saying September 19th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. This whole area here is hot, like real hot, for 69,000, particularly because we're at 53. So let's just go and consult the square real quick here. And let's just go take a look at some of our numerical sequences. I'll just move this chart over here a little bit so we can take a look at that. So we're saying that right now we're at a 53, and it's very likely that we're going to have a pullback, and it could possibly very well likely end right here. And why do I think that it could be around this area or this point in price? Well, that's a really good question. So 53 rolling back to 40, 39, 38, and 37. And 38 is our right now our January 23rd low. We have a mid, 38. So we're holding in this quadrant, and this is a really strong resistance level, this 37. So that's another reason. And the square is confirming that by coming back 225 degrees. That would be a pretty good, that would scare the pants out of everybody. It would really make you wonder what's going on. So with that in mind, we're just going to make the square a little bit smaller. Mr. Gann in the background here, and he can keep an eye on our work. So looking at this, right now, this February 18th, 19th, we're at a top here, and we could have a substantial pullback. And what would that look like? Price-wise, that would be up to around, say, 24%, in a long shot there. All right. So what would 24% represent here if we were to come up to, say, 57? Well, we went up to about 800, I think, really close to that. So 24%, all right, guys, are you watching this? Is 39,700. So right now that represents 40 on our square. So that's 180 degrees from 53, looking at that. So I hope you can see that. I kind of put the pointer in there and it kind of gets in the way. So, right, so from 53, a major swing back at 24% would represent 40, right? So I just thought I'd show you that. I think it's interesting that we look at these things. So you got to remember now, that's 2 years ago. So that's a 2-year cycle. We just sort of look back in time. And what's really interesting, and I wanted to point out, was, if we were to get a snap bottom down to where I'm saying, what would another snap rally look like, right? Maybe 42%. So we could certainly have a good snap down, and 42%, we were saying, right? So another 42% up would, right, would just bring us up to our old top, be like a dead cat bounce. That'd just like that'd get the moon boys going just as much as they're going right now, right? Right, everybody thinking that there's going to be no end, and Bitcoin's going to keep going up right now. Well, it needs to have a correction. And now that we found out that all these other, cryptocurrencies have endless supplies of coins, and they're trying to burn them all off so that they can gain value. So let's go take a look as well at, let's take a look at a Fibonacci retracement. Let's see what that's going to tell us here again on this maneuver. Well, bringing this down to here, that's our 0 point. I think we should change that and bring it the other way, actually, because this is indicating that we could come up to around this point here, which is indicative of an old top area, which is 62,000. And honestly, that would represent right here. And it's sitting right over our 1534 and opposite our 46. So it's possible and likely we could see that. So let's take this and bring it down to here. And we'll bring this back up to here. And let's just see on a reverse what we could see. Well, our 0 point here and our 618 would be at 28. That's a pretty long way down. Let's just stretch this down to our old bottom here, right here. And let's just see now where we're at here with this. So our 618 would, from this bottom area to this top, would represent right here at 36,000. And 36,000 is right here on this strong point right here. And I would expect that we would be getting a lot of traction around this area here, in my opinion, on this. So, we could carry on for a couple more days in this, this sideways grind here, making you think that it's just going to continue on. And it's going to continue on, but we're not going to break above until this August and September. We're not going to get above this. So if we do, then we would do that in April, and we would sit down on here, and then we would take off. And by this point here, we would certainly be into our 80s, And looking at the square, I mean, let's go take a look at our future points. I mean, let's make this a little bigger here. We'll move this over a bit. Looking at this here, right now is 53. Well, our tops can be 57, 61, 65, 69, our old top. Breaking above that would bring us to 73, 77, 81, our old channel bottoms, and 77 directly across from our old bottoms. So I'm thinking that into the 80s, we could make it as high as 86 and then suffer a terrific reaction. However, getting above this area in September, when the sun will be on this side, back to where its old bottom was a year ago, we could be back sitting on 53 here. Let's just go take a look at that, We could easily bounce up and then come back down and sit back down on this before busting all the way up to around our 86,000 level here. I mean, it's very likely we could get up to here. There's 86 right here. So is that going to happen? Well, it's possible. And it's probably likely too. History is repeats itself. And if you go look at every stock or exchange house, they'll always tell you that previous history is not indicative of future results, and that's a bunch of bullshit. Yes, it is. The Bible clearly states that history repeats, and there is nothing new under the sun. Okay, so I went on a little bit about that, you guys, but hit me up in the comments. I'm getting a lot of requests. I'll give you an outlook for free, but if you want a market forecast, you have to pay for those. I'm getting really overwhelmed with requests, so I'm really grateful of that. There's a lot of you that, I can see you guys are taking this in, and just take it all in slowly, everything. I teach everything about everything on this right here. So you can, in fact, go to my, you can just email me, you can text me, you can hit my link below in the description, and you can hit me up. We're having a Mexico forecasting workshop. It's an in-person. It'll be 8 hours long. It's overwhelming with research material that is current as well as from the past, and includes all the original documents that I have. I pretty much own every single book and course by Mr. Gann, and you're welcome to join me down there. So take a look in the description links below. Anyways, guys, safe trading. Just be really careful. It looks like we might be repeating another cycle again, guys. So don't let the moon boys get you. Okay, peace and love.